Okay, Steve, I'm going to pass you the baton and make you the presenter, and then you'll have the mic. You'll also have the screen. And Happy New Year to you, Pivot King. Great to have you back.
You hear me?
I can, Steve. Happy New Year, buddy.
Oh, you can. Hey, Happy New Year. You guys can see my screen?
I do. I see. Let's get started. Go to webinar.
Okay, on Google here. Okay.
Google.
Let me just, where's my charts?
So I'm humbled to begin the new year of interviews with someone who had one of the most highly viewed interviews of the year last year.
Well, thank you.
You have a great following, Steve.
Yeah. Well, a bunch of good guys.
Yeah, because it wasn't all us.
Oh, yeah. Just, spread the word, and, that spreads like a virus, I guess. But,
yeah, I have one of those right now. So, so are you having trouble getting to the screen? You want to talk about with us? Maybe
let
we
me
can
just,
help you out. There'll be a screen share option for you, and then you'll be able to select which screen on your workstation you want to show.
Share my web. Okay, yeah, I see some share screen. Let's see here.
Maybe if you click it again, maybe you have it on. Do you have a couple of monitors working?
Yeah, I got the 6 right here, but I'm trying to find which one.
Yeah, and then you just move it to the one you want to show instruments. So, I've been following you on Twitter, Steve.
Which one do you see now?
Okay, now we have, that's exactly what I was going to ask you.
This is a trade I just did. This is a trade I'm just in right now. Do you see it's going to the T?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
This is a trade. It's selling.
You love this natural gas market, because when I see tweets on Twitter, you tweet about natural gas a lot. Why is it one of your favorite markets to trade? Is it because it really responds well to your technical levels and your methods?
Well, yeah, look at the volatility. Like, if you look at my screen now, you see the volatility. You see it?
Yeah.
This is an indicator I have. You see this yellow band?
Yeah.
You see how it stays within it? You see when it breaks from it too? So when it breaks from it, it usually comes down, right? It's like a,
Yeah. So is that an envelope type of thing, similar to a Bollinger Band, or what would you call it?
Yeah, it's better than a Bollinger Band, that's for sure.
Okay.
But this is where it's
an old guy. You're like the new wave.
Like, for a correction, like you're looking into here, right? If it gets here. Okay. That's pretty low, but
all right. So
it could stay in these bands for a long time.
Okay.
As you can see,
one of your favorite markets to trade. Do you use these bands? Are other energy markets on your radar? Here we are in New Year, Steve.
Yeah, I can just, I'll give it to you yesterday. Here, I'll show you some charts. And they all hit, Dave. I just posted them yesterday. And I'll give you oil. I said it was going to, what, 60, 60, 60, 70, and it hit, oil hit 60, 70 right to the tick, as you can see here. Here's your tick hit. Do you see it?
Okay. How do people get your signals? Where do they get them? Off a private Twitter feed?
But Dale, that's pretty sick, isn't it? Like, look at that. This is on the daily, right? And look where it gets defended. You see that?
Right.
Defended, boom. Now, if this breaks, if this breaks, you see this line in the sand here?
Yeah. You're
going to go to these bands. And this is where you would buy, right? And see, look at this. You see the band? Buy, right? You see how you imagine, like, when it's in this yellow band, you just buy, and look, they're really, it's really, this is an indicator. It's beautiful, actually.
Is it something you coded yourself?
I had a programmer code it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you call it?
My secret indicator. The best indicator. I was calling it the best indicator. One person's like, "Don't call it that." I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It's the best to me." I don't know. It keeps you on the right side of the trade, So.
Okay. All right. then it's not a secret anymore.
Nah, well,
In fact, you're making it very public right now. So, but I love it. So
they don't know what it is, though. But
yeah,
I don't want that to
no
go
idea.
public. To be honest with you,
What's that?
I don't want that to go public. Like Twitter, you know, there's some people on Twitter that I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I caught an analyst. Yes, someone sent me a message saying, like, look at this person. All your numbers are being advertised. And I looked for the past month, and every single number I was given, has a subscription service. This person, like, giving my numbers. I'm not kidding. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah, that happens to us. Yeah, it happens to. It's happened to Grega. People copy and paste. You know, it's like.
Well, that's not
the only way to put a good spin on it is what they say that copying or impersonating somebody else is a high compliment. But basically, they're thieves.
They are. Yeah, there's a lot of them. You want to go through some charts? Let's go through. This is ES. I told yesterday. This is a chart I just did yesterday, right? And I said, look for 2710 to hit. And if you look at ES now, I'll show you the chart now.
Do
it. You see it's coming up to it, right? You got that bounce?
Yeah.
So, it's all about timing and just waiting. Dale, all I do is I wait. I wait a lot, eh? This is the reason why I want one of my sites. I just wait and wait and wait for the setup. And I think everybody out there, if they can just wait for the perfect setup.
Well, you need to do, Steve. I used to play Tom Petty's song, "The Waiting's the Hardest Part." So that could be your theme song.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what? I used to like rush into trade. I don't know, years ago, but I learned the hard way, Dale. Like, I find, like, even natural gas, look at the correction to 291. Overnight, I knew it was going to correct because it just overextended. I like natural gas because it has those big swings, right? And it works with my pivots like really, really good, even though sometimes it overthrows by a point or so, or 2 points. It's once you get that reversal, it's violent, right? And it's quick, Dale. It's in and out. I like day trading. I don't like swing trading as much anymore because swing, you really got to wait for the move. You know how a price could be stuck for like months. Right. It could be in a range, right?
Okay, so you answered my next question. I was going to say, a lot of traders going into a new year, they start thinking about, what are going to be the trends or what are the sleepers in 2018, what are going to be the themes. And it's to you, that's a waste of energy. You just go with what's happening now. Unless you have some macro longer term views. What's this?
Do you see, this is the oil chart. I wanted to bring this up later, but Dale, I found for myself, day trading to be much more controllable.
Personality.
Yeah, my personality, and controllable though, because with my sort of system that I created for myself, I find that the price moves within the pivots so accurately that you trade, let's say natural gas, and even a 0.5 of a point, or oil, 10 cents. You do 10 trades at 10 cents. That's $1. That's huge. And you could leverage up hard, right? So you look at the setup, you leverage up hard, you have your stop, and once it moves, and you're out. You do 5, 6 of those nice a day. You do, like on open, I could have made, like right now, I could have done at least 3 or 4 trades. But I'm on an interview. But I like the open, and I like around 230. And I like the close. I think I'm going to be trading just 3 times a day now. The rest is just boring.
So you're refining it. Unless the character of the markets change again. We're kind of in a pretty quiet, dull period. I mean, let's face it, volatility levels have been quite low in many different instruments. So
Horrible.
maybe if things pick up, you'll trade less. But you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So what are we looking at here? It's an oil fund.
I just want to let people know, like, a lot of people trade based on oversold and overbought. I agree. Like a lot of people just trade off that, Dale. And like, I just want to let people know, you take oversold and overbought as a piece of information. You don't just trade if something's oversold. Here's an example of oil, of B&O.
Okay, yeah.
Now, people over here, right, they would be saying, look, this is oversold, right? So they buy, then they buy more, then they buy more. And these are the types of examples where you blow your account.
Yeah. So they try and buy oversold, and then their account is over.
And that's how these guys make money. You know that, Dale.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, it's oversold, it's oversold. So, you know, there's people shorting gold right now. And I think gold is going to correct. But I had gold. Yeah, I put it yesterday. Guys, look for 1319. You know, people at gold were seeing at 1280. It's a short of a lifetime, you know. Look at this fractal. Look what it did, you know, 6 months ago. Or look what it did all these other times. You know, I think Wall Street uses that information to trap you sometimes. That's,
you know, that's an important statement. If anyone prefaces a trading opportunity as it being, quote unquote, the trade of a lifetime, first of all, they don't know that. Second of all, they're making one trade too important to them. Third of all, they're inspiring over leveraging. And fourth of all, you should run away.
Well, personally, me, you know, there is a setup there for gold to correct, but for me, I think it's too risky. This is just for me, and I can just move on to something else. When something's not, when I feel uneasy, you know, Dale, you get that gut feeling that something ain't right. When I get that feeling, I just move aside and go on to something else, right?
Yeah.
People feel like they gotta always, you know, they lost money in this particular instrument and they want to go back to that instrument and make that money back. And that's the wrong attitude. I used to have that attitude years ago as well. I took it like, you know, I want revenge, you know.
Yeah.
And thinking that sort of way is going to get you into trouble. It got me into trouble many years ago. And, you know, being a trader, it actually makes your, you know, you get more mature being a trader. Like you become smarter, you know, in business dealings.
But it happens with time, Steve. Let me ask you.
It does.
You've been around for a while. How many years would you say it took you to get to the level of competency that you're at now?
Blowing my account 2 times. I've lost the first time about $850,000. I have a business that took a big hit, and I went nuts. I started started practicing and saying, "Oh my God, I know this works," and I came up with, "I know this works, I know this works," and I kept on practicing, and then I started seeing my account, but with my practice account, you know, I was hitting like 1,000, 2,000 a day just on the practice account for like continuous for like 2 months. And I put money back in, I saved up. And ever since then, I started growing it hard.
So did it take you a few years?
Yeah.
Most people say 4.
Yeah, I'd say around 2.
Okay.
I went nuts though. My wife even knew. Like I was on my computer 14. I was just like looking at charts and finding the movements and looking where they. Because you know when you look at a chart so much, Dale, for some reason, I don't know. It's weird. I'll look at a chart right now that I trade, like usually like gold, silver, and I'll know where the price goes. I'm not kidding. It's weird. You look at it and you're like, "This is where it's going," and it goes. So. I guess when you look at something and feel the market, you get attached to it and you kind of know where they're going with it. It's weird, but it's true. I'm sure some other traders that are listening now understand what I mean. Like Dale, you ever seen a chart and you're like, this is where it's going? You can just.
Yeah, you like see things that are going to be magnets. But
That's right.
I've also felt that way and had it not manifest that way. So to me, I guess the question would be, you know, when you have a lot of confidence in your targets, what's your risk management style? Like perhaps give us an example of a trade that you did, and if it hadn't have worked out, what your risk would have been on that trade. What do you use if it takes out a band and it doesn't react from a band and keeps going? Are there examples of that?
Yes. Here, let's see what I can bring up here.
And then I want to give you some time to show your website and how people could get a hold of you.
Yeah. So, you know how I have my pivots, right?
Right.
When the pivots usually, when I, here's an example. Let's do copper. So you have the pivots here. Let's say for copper, for example, I have a target here. This was yesterday. I really look for the L. The L is my line in the sand. So if I take a quick trade and the trade is reversing and not going my way, especially if it stays, if it goes below this green, my little green indicator here, if it closes below, I'll get out of the trade because it usually reverses. And then what I'll do is I'll go short. So the money, I'd reverse the trade. So I get really, I get out of the trade right away if it doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, right away. I don't waste time. I don't say, oh my God, it's going to go back up. No, I have rules. When those rules hit, I stick to my rules and I get out.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to? I find that if you don't follow your rules, they'll like you can be in deep trouble. And you know, yeah, it's just a system, Dale. Like everybody has their own way of trading. I'm sure you do too. You know, and everybody has their own way of actually initiating a trade, right? So if you don't have a plan to get out, you're going to be in trouble. You can't just do a trade without knowing where you're going to get out, where your target is, you know?
Yeah, I think you should have all those answers before you initiate all of them.
You should have all those answers before you pull the trigger. And if you don't, then I don't know why you're taking the trade. Like,
what's your average leverage on your trades? What kind of leverage do you use?
I don't really use a lot of leverage, but if I would say, let's say if you have 100 grand, I'd probably do like 4 contracts, 3. Okay. It depends though. If it's really into my bands below, some very rarely I load up. But usually when I load up, there's a reason for it. Tight stop though. It needs to bounce right away. If it doesn't bounce right away, I'm out.
So I'm out right away. I also want to ask you, last time you were on, you said you have kind of a secondary mission to unmask the charlatans in the business. How's that been going? Are you still doing that? Huh?
No, I kind of laugh though. I don't know. I don't have time to I just want people to be aware. Like, look, you know, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. You know, and then
we'd have a few unmaskings. You know, kind of like what the CIA and FBI does. We might unmask a few, but you know, why don't you show us your business model then, Steve? And if people want to work with you, the best way for them to be in touch and find out what you offer. You want to show your website or?
This website should have been done a long time ago, Dale. But here, I'll show it.
Still not up?
I'll tell you what's going on with it. This is thebesttraders.com. It's going to be a website where other analysts could also come to this site and and post their trades. And so I made kind of like it's going to be like Twitter, but more organized. So that's why this site's been taking a long time. There's a lot of money going into it, and it's going to be very it's going to be really good. So you're going to have live conferencing on it. There's going to be instant messaging, forum, live webcam with other members you can see. So all these capabilities are going to be on this site. I'm going to be the head analyst, of course, but there'd be other analysts that are already interested in coming on, and I'm going to put them on there too. So yeah, that's going to be live alerts, and I'm thinking about doing the course, but Twitter's kind of turning me off with doing the course, because I'm kind of scared that people are going to take what I'm doing and just go public with it and pretend it's theirs. And I'm concerned about that, because Twitter sometimes is a little bit weird. A lot of evil people on there. I don't know. It's just, that's what I found for myself. That.
Well, do you spend time on other social media you feel more comfortable with, like Facebook or Instagram?
No, I think I'm going to do a lot of podcasts moving forward.
Okay.
I think those are more. I think those are more reliable. You get more traders that actually trade, and they don't trade with like $500 in their account. I'm not looking for those types of traders.
Do you have a launch date in mind for this?
It's February, Dale. Probably the middle of February. I'm going to really shoot for it. I'm pretty sure the programmers are going to get it done by then. Okay, well,
do this, Steve. When you're about to launch, let me know so I could help you out in a way on the evil Twitter. I don't have an evil feed. I have a lot of open-minded people on my feed, and I'll let them know. And I hope that 2018 is a great year for you, not just in trading, but in all ways. And I appreciate you being here today, and I enjoy following your tweets, and wish you the best in this upcoming.
Thank you so much, Dale, as well with you guys too. I hope you have a prosperous new year, and your podcast keeps on growing and growing and growing and growing. Because I can see that you're working very hard on it, and it takes time for what you guys are doing every day. You guys are interviewing and interviewing, so eventually I'm sure you guys are getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think we did about I think between FX Street and F.A.C.E, I'm closing in on 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're in there, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of views of this, and appreciate it, Steve. Good trading to you and everyone whose work you touch. I hope it's a great year for them as well.
Thank you so much, Dale. And
right.
I guess talk to you guys later. Take care.
Thank you, Steve. Everyone, that's Steve Anton. He's got a few Twitter handles. I see this one at Steve Anton Trade, and you could also follow him at the Pivot King. Okay? So everyone have a great day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Looking forward. Remember now, everyone in here is an eagle, all right? We're the F.A.C.E Eagles, and we're going to soar above the crowds this year, all of us together, like the Air Force. So above all, don't just count your pips, count your blessing. Yen crosses look weak, so let's see how it pans out here. You're very welcome, Kareem. Great to have the team back. Blake, Steve, Stelios. Sure we'll hear from Nick and Grega sometime this week. So everyone, this is the first day of our journey into 2018, and let's make it our best year ever. See everyone tomorrow. Thank you, Steve.